Moms and dads, are you looking for a bicycle, tricycle, football?
Looking for a model kit, chess set, doll? Something for game time, playtime, fun time.
Well, stop your looking and start to shopping at the store that has them all. The world's biggest toy store is Toys R Us. The biggest selection, Toys R Us.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
There's a million toys at Toys R Us that I can play with.
I don't want to grow up, I'm a Toys R Us kid.
They got the best for so much that you really flip your legs from bike to train. Video game, it is the biggest toy store there is. She wins. I don't want to grow up, the baby if I did.
I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid.
More dolls, more toys, oh boy. I want to be a Toys R Us kid.
Hello, welcome to Toys R Us. Can I help you?
Probably not. I've been all over and nobody... Is that Hokey Pokey Elmo?
Oh, well, yes it is, sir.
It's the last one. I got the last Hokey Pokey Elmo! I love this man!
You guys excited?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna go get what we want in the store.
I can for those cute lions.
Yeah.
I always look for early ones.
It is an end of an era. On Friday, Toys R Us stores across the country will close for good after 70 years of business.
Memories, we have new information this morning about the future of Toys R Us.
The company is reportedly planning to liquidate all of its U.S. stores.
You know what they say, after weak sales during the holidays, that is what might cause them to close. I mean, do you remember the memories? I don't want to grow up, because maybe if I did, I wouldn't be a Toys R Us kid. You know, it's really crazy to think about this here.
All right, guys, so I'm out here at the Toys R Us here at Ross Park Mall in Ross Township, PA, and I'm here to do another update for you guys. I'm sure you know by now, the entire company has gone belly up.
America's most iconic toy store chain, full of everything from bikes to trains to video games, plans to start closing all of its U.S. stores.
Okay guys, so today I thought I'd come over to Toys R Us, take a walk around, see if anything has changed inside yet from the last time I've been here. You can see the store behind me here. It's pretty cool, but it's going to be going by the wayside here pretty soon. Unless, of course, this is one of the stores that happens to be bought up and saved, because there is talk of that happening, possibly by KB Toys, which would be totally awesome.
The company told us a while back that they were closing nearly 200 stores. We knew about that after filing for bankruptcy. Now they're reportedly looking at bids to get rid of the rest of the stores in the U.S. That's roughly 800 locations.
Why are you crying? You're crying because Toys R Us is closing?
Yes.
Honey, you can get toys from other places.
But stay forever.
Honey, the Toys R Us is closing. It's not going to open anymore. Honey, you can get toys other places. Walmart has toys. Target has... Oh, you're going to fall.
And Toys R Us is going to be liquidating all of their assets, all of their stores, or they could be selling as many as 400 stores, which would mean those 400 would remain open, but it doesn't look good right now.
Toys R Us announced plans to liquidate overnight. Over 70 years in business, it will close or sell its 735 U.S. locations, including its Babies R Us stores. The move means around 30,000 employees will lose their jobs.
This is hard. It's a lot of people are losing their jobs. The kids, they're really the ones that are taking the effect, though. It isn't fair. It is not fair.
Hey everyone, today I am at the one and only Toys R Us here in St. Peters, Missouri.
Hey guys, so Toys R Us, they're going to be closing nationwide here, like within the next week or two.
How are we going to get toys?
I guess go to Amazon. Amazon's putting everyone out of business. So, yeah, this is gonna be our last.
The person who owns Amazon is the richest person.
That is true. So, sorry guys. It's sad because, you know, I came here as a kid and my kids, today's kids are the last generation. You know, Toys R Us are not going to be around much longer and...
So, were you a Toys R Us kid growing up? You most likely were, as the company was founded in 1948 by founder Charles Lazarus. Lazarus was born on October 5th, 1923 in Washington, D.C. He grew up working with his father in his bicycle shop and wanted to run a shop of his own one day, just like his dad. And thankfully, that dream came just true. In 1948, Charles Lazarus opened his first ever baby store in the D.C. area. It was called Children's Bargain Town. The store ranged from cribs to strollers to a mass of items needed for babies before the whole baby boom effect around the time. After a while in 1957, Lazarus decided to go towards a different direction in his business. He started focusing on toys for children, and thus the Toys R Us brand was born. The toy store has done great over the years. It's climbed its way up to the top. Now, I'm not going to go real deep into the company's history, but I'll list a few basic things. Like, for example, the company wasn't even public until 1978. Their headquarters was located in Paramus, New Jersey. They once had Kids R Us stores which opened up in 1983, but then shut down in 2003. In the late 90s, Babies R Us opens up, but a little later Walmart passes Toys R Us in being named the top toy store. That's not really a surprise now, is it? When doesn't Walmart pass anybody? Anyway, moving on. Toys R Us was huge back then, basically being a grocery store chain full of toys for children, as Mr. Lazarus put it back then. Everybody loved this place. Children, parents, even Wall Street. This was a store of a lifetime for customers. But what exactly happened here? What went wrong, and how did Toys R Us fail? Well, let's get into that right now, shall we? The fall of Toys R Us. What happened? Now, like with many companies that fall, it can always be a combination of things. And that's no case here with Toys R Us. It seems that this issue somewhat began back in the 90s. First of all, and for some strange reason, it seems that every time a founder of a company steps down, well, so does the company, unfortunately. I guess these successors just don't have the magic touch. But anyway, in 1994, Charles Lazarus stepped down from being the CEO. Then other competitors like Walmart and Amazon started to rise, and well, obviously we all know what that means or have meant for a lot of companies back then. We've only seen it like a million times, and some got affected bad. Now, from what I've been seeing from other sources, Toys R Us's struggles seem to be these reasons right here. And let's just get the major one out of the way first. Number 1. Toys R Us going private. Ever since being bought by KKR, Bain, and Fernando in a leveraged buyout, this has left the company in a sticky situation dealing with debt. The buyout was $6.6 billion, but apparently $5.3 billion was paid off by debt, which still leaves a whole $1.3 billion left. And apparently Toys R Us has been doing some major spending annually as well. Or what I really meant was that Toys R Us just seemed to have more money coming out rather than in. If you were to ask me, I'd say that this buyout really hurt the company bad. In fact, killed it. Number 2. Old-fashioned and fading out. Like I mentioned earlier, it seems that every single time a founder of a company always steps down, the company steps down as well. Which, in a way, does make sense since the newer guy doesn't really have the same image as the original guy. But anyway, getting caught off guard. Amazon was just heating up, and in 1998, Walmart passed Toys R Us for being claimed the best toy store. That's really no surprise, now is it? And it's like Toys R Us knew all of this, and they did respond. But it just didn't seem to work. Their decisions felt too corporate, and the company just never felt the same. There was also too much competition. stores were selling the same exact things for cheaper price. Not only that, but I also say old-fashioned because as the times went by, well, so did the generation, along with the products. Kids nowadays are more adapted to games and apps and technology. Sure, now maybe some still play with toys, but I bet you that they don't play with them too often, or even for a long time. It's about the phones and tablets that they use. I mean, I remember when I was small, toy companies like Leapfrog would make these little gaming devices and books that helped you learn things like math and spelling. But since kids in today's generation use cell phones and tablets, you now see Leapfrog making learning tablets and etc. Basically, long story short, they're keeping up with the trends of what kids like to do nowadays. Now, I'm sure Toys R Us probably had somewhat updated their line of products, maybe even completely, but from many sources including myself, Toys R Us just never felt the same like it used to. I guess you could say that when they were at their prime, they never really did change much, and newer stores like Walmart snuck up on them. And as a result, Toys R Us was just too late with making amends to keeping their customers happy. Number 3. Supply and demand. So this cuts right into Toys R Us's recent years. The private company was filled with so much debt that even their suppliers were starting to get pushy, either demanding payment as soon as delivery arrived or in advance before delivery. Ouch. I know that part sucked. So basically in a nutshell, just to sum this up, the reasons why Toys R Us fell apart was due to them being in so much debt and with them not being able to keep up with the times. And I don't mean times as in variety of items, but I mean time as in deals and hooking in customers, which seems like a daily struggle with a lot of struggling retailers. I mean, just ask Sears Holdings. But this really hurts. With them being in so much debt, it's caused them to have no other choice but to call it quits and close up shop. Or shops, I should say. Their first bankruptcy took place last year in September 2017, a Chapter 11 protection. But things got worse. In March of 2018, the company announced that they would be closing their doors for good, all 800 of their stores. And not only that, but the founder of the company, Charles Lazarus, passed away later on in the same month on March 22nd, a day before my birthday. Yikes. Also along with the store starting their liquidation sales too. Man, that's just sad. And as time passed by, more and more stores would close. Eventually, by June 30th, 2018, that's when an era ended. Rest in peace to Toys R Us. You may be gone, but never forgotten. And for all the Toys R Us fans out there, no matter what, you'll always be a Toys R Us kid.